Hello, hello, my beautiful pearls. How's everyone doing on this very, very beautiful Tuesday? I hope everyone's doing great. I miss you all. It's been some time. And today is a very interesting and very dynamic day. I haven't had time to breathe since the morning, which is amazing. I just had a green tea just to relax a little bit right before the webinar where I'm going to be seeing all of you. I hope many of you are going to join today. I'm just going to open the chat box here and I'll put it on the side. So if you have any questions, so you can have the time or the chance to ask the questions that you want to ask, or just have any comments that you would like to say. I just put them on a separate screen so I can see them. And today is a very special one. I am talking about a subject that is very, very close to my heart, and it's a very personal experience that I have been through. For those of you who don't know me, you probably don't know that most of the things that I teach, most of the things that I talk about are basically based on my personal experience and everything that I have been through in my life to reach where I am today and to be able to share my own knowledge and my own experience with you. So just so you know, we will be together for around an hour, between 45 minutes and 60 minutes. And we will be discussing a very specific topic related to self-discovery today. We're going to be talking about really how to unlock our authentic self, how to tap into our hidden talents, and how to talk to our soul and basically understand what our soul is all about. And I want you to stay till the end and stick with me till the end, because at the end, I have a very special invitation for you. So before I delve into the topic itself, I want to tell you a story, something that happened to me. And I remembered something very, very important that I went through in my life. I remember something very important from my childhood that really opened my eyes to so many things that I have been going through throughout my life. And this happened, in fact, at the beginning of this year. I was actually on a live webinar. I was kind of doing this, and I remembered something very important, and it hit me. And I was live teaching something, and then it hit me that when I was 5 years old, I remembered during the webinar, it just came to my mind. And I remembered that I used to tell my parents when I was 5 years old, I used to tell my parents a very specific sentence. I used to tell them, I came here to teach people. Now, why did this sentence made a huge difference for me when I remembered it? The fact is that when I was a child, my parents actually used to be teachers. So my father was a teacher, my mom was a teacher. Um, and then they became principal and coordinator. But teaching was kind of what they used to do. So it never crossed my mind that when I said these words, they meant something different. But when I remembered them earlier this year, when I remembered that very specific sentence, which said, I came here to teach people. Now, this sentence is very specific. I didn't say I want to be a teacher like my mom or like my dad. I didn't say I want to teach children, or I want teaching to be my profession. I didn't say that. I said this very specific sentence. I came here, as if I want to split this sentence into different parts, right? I came here, first of all, I'm a 5-year-old. I came here from where? Where was I before I came here? At that time, this meant, nothing to me. But when I remembered it earlier this year, I'm like, okay, I came here means that I was somewhere else before. And I came here. I chose to come here. And then the reason why I came here, that's the second part of the sentence. I came here to teach people. So that was my mission. I realized at the beginning of the year when this sentence came back to me that, hey, that's why I'm here. This is my mission. And then everything that I went through in my life until that moment made complete sense to me. When I I started putting the dots on the I's, and the the lines on the T's, I started realizing that now I understand why my life has been through one, two, three, and four, because my soul was on this mission, and my soul had a kind of a mission, kind of a fulfillment that it had to go through in order for it to reach this what do you call it, this mission, or this goal, right? So this is basically what I realized when I remembered that big, huge, very simple sentence, but it had so many meanings connected to it. So when I realized that, okay, this is what that sentence meant, and I started going backwards in my life, and I started realizing, when was it that I understood that this is my mission? Even before I remembered that sentence, I was already doing what my mission was. My soul was already clear on what needed to be done for me to move forward in my life and to be the person that I am today, and also to become the person that I'm supposed to be tomorrow. Why am I telling you this story? The only reason why you remember things in your life is when you are clear, when you have that sort of clarity. And that sort of clarity in your mind does not come from being, always following the hectic pace of your life and always going through life as if there is no tomorrow, and just, all everything is on like fast forward pace, and there's no time for you to breathe, there's no time for you to relax, there's no time for you to think. When you start thinking, and when you start breathing, and when you start taking breaks, like real breaks, this is when you become that person who can actually see beyond what is happening, or see beyond what you are going through in your life. And for us to be able to take that break, for us to be able to understand what is at stake here, we want to really understand who we truly are. What is our true mission? What is our true, um, um, what is our, who are we, basically? We want to understand who we are. We want to understand why we are here. One of the biggest questions that anyone can ask themselves in their lives is why, you know. Most of the time we ask the question of why in some sort of a victim mentality, like, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through these hardships? Why do I have to be feeling down? Why do I have to be depressed? Why? This is not the why I'm talking about. This is not the big why that I want you to start looking at. The big why that I want you to start looking at today is why am I here? What is my mission? This is something that is way much deeper than us understanding why things happen in our life the way they happen. In fact, when we start asking this big why question, which is why is my soul present? Why am I existing in this life? When you start asking this question, all the other whys will start falling in place, because when you know why you are here, you will start understanding why you go through life the way you went through it, or why you had to go through very specific experiences. I'm going to explain this when I tell you about the soul digging and understanding what your soul mission is, because everything is about understanding that. Now, to reach that point and to be able to really understand your soul mission, you have to go through some specific steps, or I don't call them steps. You know why? Because people go through those differently. They don't necessarily follow a specific order. Some people understand their soul's mission before they even understand their own, talents, or what are they authentically all about. Some people figure out their mission first, and then they start digging to understand, okay, what are my talents, and how can I, with these talents, fulfill my soul's mission. And some people do it the other way around. So there is no right or wrong here. There are steps, basically. Every person goes through these steps differently. But the major steps that we go through are basically at the base of inner discovery. So to be able to reach the answers of why is my soul here? Why does my soul exist on this planet, or in this timeline, or in this life? You want to go through that inner discovery journey. That inner discovery journey is one of the most important things that one has to reflect on, or has to go through in their life. Now, unfortunately, many of us do not reach the point of going through a self-discovery journey. Many of us get stuck in our day-to-day life and really live our life with like going through that fast pace, with no time to breathe, with no time to reflect, with no time to understand anything about us or the world. Well, let's start with the world around us and then maybe going inwards. That's why, if you are watching this, you are in those, like in that minor percentage of people who understood that to go through life, you have to understand who you truly are, why you are truly here, what is your mission on this planet, why do you exist? And these questions are kind of like, these are big questions. And I remember I used to ask these questions when I was much younger. I never had an answer, but I remember asking them, like, why am I even here? Why am I even here? What am I here to do? I never had answers before, but I started asking these questions at a very young age. And I didn't know why I was asking them. But when I remembered why I'm here and what my soul's mission is, then it made very much sense to me why I was asking these questions. I was supposed to ask them because these were the questions that were leading me to understanding my soul's mission and my soul's message, and decoding that message, really figuring out why everything that is synchronized in my life is synchronized in a very specific way. I always tell you, you are the one who creates your life. And this does not change that fact. In fact, it is actually when you start looking at how your life was going and how your life happened, and you put that with your discovery of your own soul's mission, you start connecting the dots and you start understanding that on a subconscious level, everything that you went through in your life, you were creating on a subconscious level in order for you to experience every single thing. Listen to this, that you needed to experience throughout your life in order for you to reach that very specific moment of your awakening, of you realizing why you were here, of you starting to ask your big questions. And this is, my dear friend, how the inner discovery journey starts. It starts by you asking those big questions and you wanting to receive these answers. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, if you think that this is exactly, and you go like, oh my God, my soul, it's like you're talking to me. It's like, or you're talking about me. And you remember when you go through this inner discovery journey and you start receiving messages from the universe, those messages start meaning things to you and start making sense to you. And then you start meeting people who also make sense, like their presence starts making sense to you. Their presence in your life starts making sense to you because now you understand that, okay, this person is here to teach me resilience, let's say. This person is here to teach me integrity. This person is here. And all of these, by the way, are guides and are actions and decisions that you go through in your life in order for your soul to excel and for your soul to vibrate higher and higher, because that is why our soul is here. So the main question is, we ask ourselves, why am I here? And then you will have the answer coming through. Believe me, when you start asking the question, it might sound weird, but if you sit and give yourself that space, give yourself that time, give yourself the benefit of the doubt and really listen, the answers will come. They will come through your mind. They will come through images. They sometimes will come through signs from everything around us. But the answers will come. Only we will know if we are listening or if our eyes are open. But if we are living our life in a fast pace, first of all, we will not remember to ask the questions, right? And if we allow ourselves like some time to ask the question, but then we move into that fast pace again, we will not be able to hear the answers. We will not be able to receive the answers. So when we start asking the questions and we actually wait and listen and reflect, the answers will start coming to us. And these answers will highlight what we are, who we are, who are the people in our life who are supposed to be giving us guidance one way or another, even those that we meet in our life. And a lot of people we meet in our life, they kind of reflect on us negatively, or they remind us of negative things, or they make us go through negative experiences. But all of these are our learning techniques, basically. It's like our soul decided before it came here that I'm going to go through this very specific um, process in order for me to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever my soul is supposed to learn in this timeline, right? So my soul is already agreed and has already decided that this is how I'm going to learn these things. We don't know this until we stop and sit and ask and reflect. And when we do that and we go through like the movie of our life, we will start understanding why one person existed in our life and what this person specifically was teaching us through the experience that we went through with that person. Let me know if that resonates. For example, do you have these people in your life who some people come into our life and they stay there for literally a week, sometimes a couple of days. But these 2 days or that week is worth years of experiences that we have been through to teach us something very specific. It might be something very simple, something very minor, but that person or that experience happened to us to teach us something very specific. And again, happened for us. Excuse me, because I said happened to us. I never use that. This is a term that everyone else around me uses. I personally always say everything happens for us because I learned that everything that happens is for me to learn from it. So that's why I always say things happen for us because I am learning from whatever I'm going through. So that's why discovering oneself, discovering our innermost hidden everything. I'm not going to specify. I'm not going to say myself. I'm not going to say my talents. I'm not going to say my soul. I am discovering everything that is hidden within me. I'm going to focus on my authentic self. I'm going to focus on my hidden talents and I'm going to focus on my soul in this webinar. But in fact, what I'm doing when I'm going through my self-discovery journey is basically I'm understanding everything about the innermost hiding or hidden everything about me, you know? And like I said, there is no specific order for you. You can start by tapping into your hidden talent, or you can start by unlocking your authentic self and understanding really who you truly are. Now, how do you go through the process of understanding or unlocking your authentic self? Every single one of us, like I said, is a soul on a mission. This body, this figure that you see, this is my vessel. And my vessel is going to disappear at one point in time. My soul is going to stay there. And it's going to move to a different vessel to learn something new. So, what my authentic self is all about, really, it's when I want to unlock it and understand what my authentic self is, okay? First of all, what is an authentic self? Your authentic self is basically about your uniqueness, about what it is that you are all about, or me, or any other person in the world. So that's about anything that is related to you, that is authentic to you, that is special to you, that is unique to you. So understanding that, to be able to do that, to be able to understand that, or to unlock who you truly are, or your uniqueness, you want to really sit and reflect on everything that is personal to you when it comes to values and when it comes to beliefs. So when you start your inner discovery journey, you sit with yourself and you ask yourself, okay, what is important to me? What is valuable to me? What are the things that I will never negotiate on in my life? Like, for example, for me, something about me that I will never negotiate on is honesty. I am a person who will always require honesty in my life. And if it does not exist from the people around me, they will just disappear from my life. And I also discovered that through my experiences, because I had to go through experiences in my life with people who were not honest so that I could understand that honesty is one of the most important values for me in my life. And for me to understand that, I had to meet dishonest people. I had to meet liars. I had to have relationships with liars in my life. So I could understand that honesty is a no, like not being honest with me or having people who are liars in my life is certainly a no, no, and I will never accept it. So for me to be able to understand that this is one of my main values, I I reflected on all my experiences and I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's so true. I will never agree to having people not who are dishonest in my life. And after going through those experiences and reflecting on them, I realized that, okay, now from day one, I do not allow dishonest people in my life. I don't have to go through that experience anymore to allow to learn that honesty is a major thing in my life. Loyalty was another value that I appreciate, and I will always require loyalty in my life. Compassion, like for me, people who are judgmental, people who are, who always want to compare or who always want to pinpoint or point their fingers at others, or blame others for everything. These people are not allowed in my life. For me, I cannot accept judgment. Compassion is very important, being compassionate to me, to myself first, and also being compassionate to others. So if this is who I want to be, this is also who I want to have in my life. So basically, remember, your values are definitely about you, but they are definitely also a reflection of who you want to have in your life, of who you allow in your life. And for you to be able to understand your values and also your beliefs, because remember, we are a set of experiences and beliefs. Those experiences that we go through, they actually help build those beliefs in us. When we start our self-discovery journey, what happens is we start looking at our past experiences and we start understanding how our experiences have influenced us to become who we are today. Like for me, like I said just now, going through relationships with people who were dishonest or with people who were who betrayed me, who were not loyal to me, and we're talking here about personal relationships or even business relationships, any kind of relationship. When I went through those experiences and I reflected on those experiences, I understood why my present authentic self is a person who will not allow disloyalty and dishonesty and betrayal in their life, right? So I went through those experiences to understand my values and the values of the people that I will allow in my life. And then there are these values, they become your guide. They become your guide to the actions that you do. They become your guide to the decisions that you make in your life, right? And for example, I'll give you a lot of, like I said, I already gave compassion as an example. So compassion becomes your guide in the actions that you do, in the decisions that you make, how you look at other people, how you are able to be, first of all, compassionate to yourself and then compassionate to everyone around you. Your integrity, this becomes your guide to the actions that you take in your life and the decisions that you make in your life. Your independence, this is another guide on how you take decisions in your life. The feeling of responsibility that you have. When you have that feeling, it also guides you. Like if you are a responsible person, think about it this way. What are the decisions that you make as a responsible person versus the decisions that you might make as an irresponsible person? You know, so being responsible becomes a guide for your decisions moving forward, for your actions moving forward. And I'm just giving you here, these are the guides that you want to discover when you do your self-discovery, your inner discovery journey, and then you understand who you authentically are. So if you follow these guides, they will help you become that person, obviously, if they make sense to you. Sometimes maybe you are far off in your journey right now from some of the guides that I'm giving you, but at one point in time, they will show. For example, one of the guides that you want to maybe explore is curiosity. You want to be curious. You want to be curious about yourself. You want to be curious about, remember, why is my soul here? What is my mission? Curiosity is like one of the most important guides for you when you are doing your self-discovery or you're going through your self-discovery journey. You don't want to stop asking these questions. And the more you ask, the more answers you will get. The less you ask, there are no answers that are going to come to you. So remember, asking is very important. That's why curiosity is important. Why, when, who, how, all these questions that will put everything in perspective for you. And then you start making your decisions accordingly and you start taking actions in your life accordingly. One of the other guides is resilience. When you are resilient, your actions are different than when you are impatient, when you are, you cannot tolerate things. The more resilient you are, and the more you take that resilience and use it as your guide for your actions and your decisions, the more you are able to dive deeper within and understand everything about you. One thing that I want to make sure to remind you, and I'm going to talk about it in a bit as well. Every time you want to look within, you are looking for your talent, which is what I'm going to talk about now, but you are also looking for your blocks. What are the things that stop you? What are the things that limit you? And this is where limiting beliefs become very potent, and you start seeing those limitations. You start, the more you dive within, the more you understand what your limitations are. And I always say, and I will always say it, our limitations are our opportunities to explore and to understand and to excel. If we look at our limitations this way, believe me, they will stop being limitations for us and they will start becoming our opportunities to understand really who we truly are, what it is that we went through, what it is that we were supposed to learn from everything that we went through in our life. And I'm sure many of you on the call today, if you look back at your life and you really reflect on everything that you've been through in your life, you will say, oh my God, this is so true. Everything that I went through was teaching me something. Everything that I went through was teaching me or was highlighting for me where my limitations are. But maybe in like in the past you were not aware. Now that you are here and that you are learning and that you are going through this journey, you understand that everything that we go through is a learning journey, is a learning. It's like life is our school. This is how you want to look at it. Life is our soul's school. This is where our soul learns, right? And everyone around us is a teacher. Every single person in our life is a teacher. Every single circumstance we go through in our life is a teacher. Every single experience we go through is a teacher. When you keep that in mind, when you remember this, and when you are always aware, you will be able to always put those, like have those questions as you go through your daily life, even. I'm going to share with you a story. In August, I was supposed to go to Bali for a retreat, a 10 days retreat. I had everything done, everything settled, uh, all the payments done, the ticket is reserved and paid for, the visa is ready, everything was ready. And for some reason, I personally felt it that I was not going to Bali. And I think I didn't feel it. I think I manifested it. I don't think, I know I manifested it. Everything that we go through in our life is a manifestation. Whether we know it or not, that's another story. But it is a manifestation of something that subconsciously is going on with us, okay? And sometimes consciously, if we are aware enough and if we know exactly how to lead our life. So basically, what happened is I knew that I was not going to Bali. I did everything to go, but I knew. And how did I know that I knew I was not going to Bali? On the way to the airport, my friend was dropping me off, and he was telling me, I don't feel you're excited that you're going to Bali. And I said, yeah, you know what? Because I don't think I'm going. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I feel like I'm not going to go. And we stopped talking about it there and then he dropped me off at the airport. I reached the counter where I was supposed to show my passport and everything. And then the guy was telling me, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't allow you on the plane. And I was like, okay, why? And he's, well, you have a connecting flight in India and you don't have a visa, a transit visa for India. And I was like, but I didn't know I had to have one. And he said, sorry, but there's nothing I can do for you to move from one plane to another. You have to actually exit. It's like you've entered the country and move to the second plane with your luggage and everything. So you need a transit visa. Without that, or just a visa to India. And without that, I cannot allow you on the plane. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not traveling. So I took my luggage back and I didn't travel. Now, why am I telling you this story? First of all, I'm telling you this story so that you know that when you want something or when you don't want something, you get whatever you ask for. So when I was saying I'm not going to Bali, that's exactly what happened. I didn't go to Bali. Now, what I didn't know was why I was not supposed to go to Bali. But I figured it out that night and the next day. So what happened is when that guy didn't allow me on the plane, I said, okay, I had to talk to whoever was running the retreat, and I was messaging her, and I said, okay, look, this is happening. I want to understand. Is, for example, the retreat refundable? If I end up unable to come and all. And she was like, no, but try to make it, and try this plane, try that plane, try this, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was, like I said, I wasn't going, and I didn't go. So I tried everything, but I knew I was not going. Now, the next day, we were having that retreat. We were having a few people that I knew remotely, but never met in person. And I was really looking forward somehow to meet them in person. And when I ended up not going, I thought to myself, I'm going to message them on that group, which the lady who had the retreat had created for all of us. I said tomorrow morning, because it was very late at night. So I said tomorrow morning, I'm going to message them and apologize and say, I'm so sorry, I'm going to miss meeting you in person. It would have been great to do that, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to happen. So I wanted to send that message in the morning. I went to bed. I was okay. The next day when I woke up, later on, I opened the WhatsApp and I went to the group. And to my surprise, that lady had actually deleted me from the group. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Didn't I say initially that every experience we go through is to teach us something? So that experience that I went through for that retreat with that very specific lady, who is at one point in time was a major person for me in my life, and she was really teaching me something very specific, very special in my life. All of a sudden, she became that person that I couldn't understand. I couldn't figure, and I disliked her for what she did, because the way she treated the whole situation was so wrong. And she showed basically her true colors. So this whole experience was for me to learn the true colors of that person and how that person is and who that person is, so that I decide if these values of that person are the values that I want in my life. And I realized that no, that's not the kind of person that I want to be part of my life. And I understood that I had to create boundaries between myself and that person. And that's exactly what happened. So I actually messaged her and I said, hey, why did you remove me from the group? You took away my opportunity to excuse myself from these people and say, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to join. That was so uncalled for. And she's like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so sorry. I forgot. And you're right. And, but this whole story is for me to tell you that every single experience you go through in life with people, with circumstances, with experiences is for you to learn. And that's what I learned from that experience. Now, going back into your self-discovery and how important your self-discovery is and what it helps you with. Your self-discovery journey is basically one of the major guides for you to understand what your true and most important talents are. What is your hidden potential, basically? What it is that is unique about you, what it is that is so special about you, that is dormant, that is lying there. It exists, you just don't know it, you've never experienced it before. And now is your chance. When you do your self-discovery journey, this is your chance for you to tap into this hidden talent, to tap into this dormant thing or dormant amazing potential that you have that you never knew existed. When you do your self-discovery and you start understanding all your experiences, understanding your values, understanding and learning about your beliefs, now you can tap into that talent and you can kind of give it a nudge, hey, wake up, I'm here. And I know you exist. So you want to learn what that talent is. And how do you do that? By being aware and understanding what it is that motivates you, what it is that keeps you on fire, that keeps you going, that keeps you pushing forward. What is that? That is your talent. That is your potential. That is where everything lies. And that is what you want to understand. So the more you dig internally and find out what are the things that are moving you, what are the things that are pushing you forward, what are the things that are keeping you alive, basically, you understand what your hidden talent is and what your that dormant talent of yours now, and what it is that makes you so special, so exceptional, because every single one of us is exceptional. Every single one of us is unique. Every single one of us is like special, right? And we want to understand what our speciality is, kind of like figuring out if I'm a good chef, or if I'm a good, I don't know, pilot, or if I'm a good speaker, you know? Before I started doing this, I never knew I would be sitting in front of the camera and virtually talking to people. That was the last thing in my mind that I would have ever thought I would be doing. And look at me, because this was my hidden talent. This was my hidden potential. I had it. It was there. It just needed a nudge. And I only figured it out when I started my inner discovery journey. And when I understood where my strengths are, what my strengths are, when I understood what my limitations were, and I worked on those limitations. So, like I said earlier, your limitations are basically your compass for learning. You want to look at your limitations as your opportunity to learn. Every limitation that you have, if you have fear, you want to understand why you have fear, what that fear is caused by, and learn that everything around that fear is an opportunity for you to become invincible, become someone who is unafraid, become someone who is courageous, someone who is brave enough to do everything that needs to be done for you to excel in your life. So if you do not understand that you have fear as a limitation, you will never be able to learn how to become courageous and how to become brave. So that's why it's very important to find out what your limitations are and use them as an opportunity for you to learn, an opportunity for you to grow, an opportunity for you to understand where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. And from there, you want to amplify your strength and you want to work on your weaknesses and make them better, like elevate from the weakness to strength. And without doing that inner discovery and tapping into that talent and tapping into your fears and tapping into your limitations, you won't be able to know all of this, right? So this is how important your inner discovery is. And this is how important it is for you to embrace all the challenges that you go through, to embrace all the experiences that you go through and make sure that you use them as opportunities for you to learn, opportunities for you to grow, opportunities for you to excel. And remember, when you do all of this, what you are doing is you're literally helping your soul in its journey, discovering what your soul mission is, or what your soul's message is, or what your soul's reason for existence is. It is all about really diving within and understanding everything about who you are, everything about your strengths, everything about your resilience, everything about your talent, everything about the gems that are hidden within you that just need some polishing for them to shine. And that shining gem that you discover at the end of your, well, your inner discovery doesn't really have an end, right? It's an ongoing process. But the more you discover, the more you shine. And as a gem, when you are shining, this is basically your soul elevating and vibrating higher, because you are teaching your soul everything that your soul came here to learn when you go through that inner discovery journey. Now, one thing you want to always remember is to follow your intuition. Your intuition is the number one compass for you to understanding everything about your soul and everything about life in general. I used to, that same person, by the way, that same person who I discovered their true colors because of this trip to Bali. When I first met that person years ago, she told me something. She said, "You have one of the strongest intuitions that I have ever met in my whole life." And this person is a very knowledgeable person. She's been in the spirituality and self-development journey for ages. And she said, "You have one of the most, like the biggest intuitions I've ever met. You have a problem though, is that you never follow your intuition." At that time, when she said that to me, she was right. She was right, and I knew it. I remember I used to, and I still do, but now I do it very consciously and on a very aware level, and in a very, not just aware, but very systematic or studied, let's put it this way, in a very studied way, especially my intuition about people. So before, I used to know exactly, like if I meet someone, the first impression that I get about that person is always on point. But I used to always never follow it and just go with the flow and go with the experience, and always getting disappointed at the very end and coming back to my first impression and remembering that, oh my God, I wish I had followed my first impression. I wish I had followed my intuition about that person, because it was definitely on point and it was definitely right. Now, that is so true. However, it is also so true that by not following my intuition at that time, I was learning. But now that I have learned, and now that I am aware and more aware, and now that I've done myself digging in my self-discovery and that I'm going through my self-discovery still, I know way much better. And I know that I have to follow my intuition, because it's true. I do have one of the strongest intuitions out there, and it's always on point. And when I follow it, I don't have to go through hardships. I don't have to go through experiences that I have been through already and that have already taught me. The fact that I have learned allowed me now to follow my intuition in a more, how do you call it? In a stronger way, right? In a more assertive way. So follow your intuition. Your intuition is really the guide that is coming from within. It's your soul, it's your gut feeling telling you, hey, this is the way it should be. So follow that intuition, because your gut feeling knows more than whatever it is that you are going through, whatever the experience is. So ask yourself, what is it that I truly feel? What is my gut feeling about this? And follow your gut feeling. This is something that I will always tell you. because, like I said, your intuition is your soul's compass, and it will help guide you in the right way, in the right direction, without you having to go through a lot of hardships. Now, unfortunately, many people out there have to go through hardships to learn. I mean, I know for myself, I had to go through hardships to learn. I'm sure a lot of you had to go through a lot of hardships to learn and to become the people that you are today, or the gems that you are today. I like to call you gems. For me, every single person out there is a pearl. This is why I called myself Mother of Pearl, because I truly believe that every single person out there is amazing, is like we all have so much potential. There's no limit for our potential. Really, there's no limit for our potential. The only limit that there is us. We are the only limitation for ourselves. Allowing other people, for example, in life, to dictate things in our life, this does not happen because they have anything better than we do. This happens because we allow it. So when we stop allowing this, it stops happening. It's as simple as that. Believe me, it's as simple as that. And sometimes, I totally understand that there are lots of circumstances out there, and sometimes we are going through circumstances that we think are beyond our control. That's because we are living in that fast pace, and we are not taking time to breathe, to relax, to figure out who is the boss here, who is the owner of this life that we are leading. Believe me, no one outside of us is the owner of our life. We own our life. We own the decision-making process. Whether we are doing it consciously or subconsciously, that's a different story. But we are doing it. It's not being done to us. No one is doing this for us in our life. No one is moving those, like chess, what do you call them? I don't know the name. But no one is moving things for us in our life. We are in control. Again, consciously or subconsciously is a different question. And that's a different topic for a different webinar. But remember, you are in control. And when you are in control and you decide to do that inner discovery journey, you will learn that you are truly in control. You will find all the hidden secrets that, well, there will be there won't be secrets anymore when you discover them. But for you to learn that, you want to do that self-discovery journey. You want to dig within to understand all of this. And then the more you learn, the more, remember, your soul is here to learn. Your soul is here to elevate. Your soul is here to vibrate higher, to learn those virtues that I spoke to, that and the values that I talked about at the beginning of the webinar, right? So when you go through that journey, the more you're learning, the higher your vibration is, and the more you're understanding what is that contract that my soul, or that agreement that my soul had to come to this life and learn. What is it that my soul is here to do? What is it that my soul is here to learn? Just like I realized that I came here, and I said I came here, I mean my soul came here to teach people. Now, I can talk about this for ages. I mean, if you give me 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, I can talk about this. And unfortunately, we have only 1 hour. And I thank you so much for being with me for that 1 hour. And my invitation for you, my friends, my dear beloved pearls, every single one of you out there. If everything that I am explaining or everything that I am sharing with you makes sense to you, if it resonates with you, if it highlights parts of your life that you think, oh my God, I wish I knew this, or I wish I can have more information about this, or I wish I can have someone guide me through this process. I do want to go through this. I just don't know how to do it on my own. Here's my invitation to you. All you need to do is let me know if this resonates with you, if you feel like you want that support, you want that help, you want that guiding hand. All you need to do is let me know. You know, I have posts on Facebook almost every day. I am available on Facebook Messenger. Just reach out to me, talk to me, tell me, hey, Maysoon, I need help. Or I'm going through this. What do you think? How can you help me? Can you help me? Maybe I'm not the right person to help you, and maybe I am. So here's what's going to happen. If you reach out to me, or when you reach out to me, what we're going to do is we're going to jump on a quick call, like half an hour or 1 hour, depending on what's happening in the situation in your life. We're going to go through a lot of talk. I will understand what you are going through, who you are, what are the things that you are facing in your life. And while we're talking, I will probably have a lot of tips to share with you, and you can start using those tips in your daily life. And if I feel like I am the right person to guide you through your journey, and I'm the right person to hold your hand through it, I will explain to you what it looks like to work with me, and I will guide you through that process. So all you need to do is let me know, start that conversation with me, and book that call. Once you book that call, we get on that call, we talk. If things work right, if our energies are in sync, and if I truly feel that I can guide you and I'm the right person to guide you, I will show you how that looks like. And with that, I'm going to say to you, thank you so much for being with me today. I really love seeing all your names, all your face. Well, I don't see your faces, but I see your names. And I love when I see your names watching these webinars and interacting and, you know, asking questions and also letting me know when you resonate with the things that I'm saying. And remember, if there's anything specific that you would like me to cover, you know how to reach me, Facebook Messenger, or you can even, you know, comment on any of the posts that I have on Facebook, or you can email me if you are on the emailing list. And I will make sure that I will cover those topics in future webinars. From now until next week, I will say to you, God bless you and ciao, ciao. See you next week.